Hi everyone. This channel is called Wendy's Parade of Perfume and my name is Wendy, your host. On my channel, I just talk about the perfumes that I have on my shelf, what I've been wearing, what I've been thinking about, what I plan to be wearing, because today at long last I'm going to be talking about an actual autumn perfume tray. Now that fall is here and it's finally like legit fall. Like it's starting to feel colder out. It's a nice rainy day. I actually am not hesitant to, run my stove in my oven because my house is going to get too hot. So that actually feels good when you're cooking. So I made soup today. It was very exciting. Um, so my autumn perfume tray. Some of this may be a little redundant because what I've been craving to wear, but it's been too hot to wear, have been just spicy, dark, resinous, rosy perfumes that I tend not to wear in the summer. In the summer, I do tend to go light, clean, fresh, stuff that handles the heat. But now that it's cooler and it's darker out, I can finally wear the perfumes that honestly I like a little better, and I can wear them with abandon. So the other thing is, there's a lot of roses in here. Some of these perfumes are new, old, discontinued, niche, indie, vintage, all over the place in absolutely no order. None of it makes sense. And let's just get started. We'll start with some designers. I've been talking about this line a lot because right now they're very affordable. This is from Estee Lauder, and this is called Desert Eden. I like this because this is a rose perfume mixed with sandalwood and resins. I think the main resinous note is olibanum, but yeah, it's nothing that no one's ever, we've all smelled that before. Spicy rose, incense, woods, but this perfume is just on target for me. It's like I want a rose that is smoldering on a beautiful bed of sandalwood, and Desert Eden delivers. It's also not expensive, because I think these are all hitting the gray market, which I've said several times about this line. But reading the reviews, some people are like, been there, done that. This is not interesting. This is not exciting. And I guess I could see that, but this just smells really good. It just does what it's supposed to. It maybe the resins almost burn a little bit like on the sweeter side versus like the smoky side. So it's like a sweetly burning incense rose surrounded by a wonderful plank of sandalwood, and that is all I can ask for, and that is all I want. I don't know why it's called Desert Eden, but it's a rose incense sandalwood perfume, and I've worn this a few times the last week or two, and it's just been a joy, and that is Desert Eden from Estee Lauder. I was just talking about this perfume this morning with Danielle from the Perfume Journal, and this is called Burberry Goddess. Yeah, it's basic, I know. Everybody's smelled this, and if you haven't, you can certainly test it out at Ulta, which in my book is good because you know what you're getting into. This is the first one in the line. Now, of course, they have the Intense and the Parfum and the whatever. Next year, they'll have the Low. You know how that goes. We all know the story by now. Anyway, Burberry Goddess. At first, when this came out, I was like, oh, yay, another, like, vanilla lavender. How many are there? Like, YSL Libre and Montgalant and, I don't know, the original Corone that came out. That was another. Anyway, we've all smelled lavender built on vanilla before, but I really like this a lot. The vanilla, it's sweet, but it's like dark and woody, and it kind of smells like there's a little bit of patchouli in there. The lavender, shockingly on me, it actually comes out a little bit in the top notes, but then you wear it and then it, wears down a little bit. And then you also smell it again in the bottom notes, or the base notes. So I just find the way the vanilla acts in here to be a little bit interesting. And there's also something that smells a little bit like anise or like licorice to me in this, just faintly. It's not a licorice dominant perfume or anything like that, but I don't know, just a little spicy, a little dark, a little woody, a little patchouli. So I do like this, but it has to be cold out. This is a little bit cloying to be worn if it's not cold enough out. But yeah, I got this maybe, I didn't get it last year because I was on a no-buy, but I think I got it in the beginning of the year. I had a coupon or something. But anyway, that is Burberry Goddess. And I don't know, I've just been liking it. It was kind of a pleasant surprise. I probably didn't need it, but I don't know. I had a coupon and I was at Ulta, and you know how that goes. An old niche, or I'm sorry, an old designer perfume is from Chanel. This is called Egoiste. It obviously is marketed to men, pour Homme. Um, Speaking of sandalwood, this is a spicy sandalwood rose for when it was a little bit more common for them to put floral notes in men's perfumes. This also, to me, smells like Chamka. You guys know what I'm talking about. That hippie incense that everybody knows. I'm actually going to spray this a little bit. Ah, this smells so good. The rose is so pretty and the sandalwood is so wonderful and it's rich and it's spicy and it's incensey. And they do still make this. I have no idea how old this bottle is and it's getting pretty empty, so I'm going to try to use it up actually. And I've never seen this in the store. This is still on the Chanel website, but I'm going to have to track it down if I ever finish it up, which I'm going to try to. But definitely, sure, it's a little bit dark and a little bit spicy and a little bit woody, but this is one of those odd perfumes that maybe not manly enough for men and not feminine enough for women. It's kind of in the middle, but I absolutely love wearing this. And this is going to be on heavy rotation. That is Egoiste from Chanel. And this is the original Egoiste. I think there's an Egoiste Platinum, which is completely different. So if you ever look at them, the Platinum one that is widely available is not the same thing. This one is from like 1990. It's an old perfume. Just real quick, another sandalwoody incense. I just did a review for this. That is Santal Royale from Chanel, from Guerlain. And while this is like a spicy rose, and it's like spicy and incensey, and you know, this is a smooth, this is just smooth as silk. It still has some spices and it does have some leather and sandalwood and things like that that make it a little bit darker, but this just wears like a smooth dream on my skin. And I just did a review of this, so if anybody wants to know what else I think of this, just look a few videos down. But that is Santal Royale, which is just a joy to wear now that it's a little bit cooler out. Just because I just got this and I've been liking wearing this. This is a floral aldehyde from Henry Rose called French Exit. Also just did a review on this and it's just kind of new to my shelf, so I've been excitedly wearing it a few times. Like I said, this is a beautiful floral aldehyde that is not resinous. It actually is clean and the florals are watery and soft, and it's a beautiful blooming vintage bouquet surrounded by watery aldehydes and a really gorgeous dry down. And I just did a review on this too. This is just to be a little bit of a change in between, because I mean, even I get tired of the spices after a while, and I need a break. So if I want to wear something that is just a pure saturated vintage floral, I'm going to be wearing French Exit from Henry Rose. I think now we're all down to niches here. Okay. I took out my Guardian of the Forest body spray from Lush. I like this perfume a lot because this has a very strong oak moss note, and I'm an oak moss huffer. I will admit though that this borders on being a pine tree scented Yankee Candle. That said, it wears light enough that it doesn't bother me, and it's a body spray, so it only lasts a few hours on me. So the notes in here are like cypress, pine, lime tree, and oak moss. It has a beautiful mossy dry down, and sometimes I just like those forested woody perfumes, like a lot. So I don't care if I smell slightly like a pine tree Yankee Candle, because the oak moss in here is enough that it kind of grounds it down a little bit. And like I said, this is a body spray, so it doesn't become so cloying where I'm like, get this candle off of me. And yeah, I don't know how they snuck the oak moss in this perfume, but they did. Oak moss is like halfway up the list. But so yeah, that is my pine tree, my oak mossy pine tree perfume, Guardian of the Forest from Lush. Okay, so speaking of vintages, this is a rose perfume from Olympic Orchids called Rouge Ballet, or Ballet Rouges. This is actually, even for me, slightly difficult to wear. This is a rose chypre, and this also has oak moss in it, and it's extremely strong. You only need like one spray. And I just looked up this company. They still make 30 ml bottles that are like $60, so very reasonably affordable. And the person that did this perfume, I think her name is Ellen Covey. She deliberately was like, I'm going to make a vintage fragrance. So if you want like a sweet rose or an easy to wear rose, this is not going to be for you. This rose has a lot of changes in it. This rose is on the bitter side. And the oak moss in here is inky, because real oak moss will smell like licheny, and it'll have this almost like ink, this dark ink smell. It smells really good on top of just being like green and woody and mossy. But this is very, very true to the source. And when I'm feeling like in a true vintage mood, I can wear Ballet Rouge from Olympic Orchids. Anybody that has the chance to test this, I think this is really well done. And the rose is the real deal. And luckily it doesn't just smell like a one-dimensional rose. Like it smells a little bit bitter, and then it smells a little bit jammy, and then it smells a little bit floral. So the rose definitely has some changes along the way. And yeah, this is just a really beautiful rose chypre that while I like it, I don't wear it that much because I find it to be a little bit difficult to wear. But when I'm in that mood, it hits the spot, and it's exactly what I need. Okay. This next perfume is from Annick Goutal, and that is Ambre Sauvage, Absolu Sauvage Amber. Whew. Okay. So amber perfumes. Amber is like an accord, and it can go off in like a million different directions. Ambre Sauvage from Annick Goutal is a dark, woody incense perfume. It has this note called blackwood, which I guess actually is a natural extract. I have no reference for that, though. I don't know what blackwoods smell like in real life. But imagine if you had a patchouli mixed with some iris and mixed with a teeny tiny bit of vanilla, and mixed with also resins, but the resins are dark, and the wood is just this very dark wood note. So you have the patchouli, but it's like dialed down, and even the patchouli as a base note, it's actually held up by this extremely, extremely dark wood note. I don't know how else to describe it, which that's probably not the best description in the world. But on the top, though, it's a little bit brighter. There is some vanilla, there is some incense, there is some iris, and there is some lavender. And the lavender is pretty low toned. I would not say that the lavender is a predominant note in here, but this immediately, as soon as you spray it on, it just smells like dark lacquered wood without smelling like paint or, hairspray or anything like that. But man, it's just, the wood is just beautiful. It's just this super dark wood. And yeah, that is Ambre Sauvage. I realized that I wasn't explaining that very well, but I don't know how else to describe it. Maybe something will come to me and I can do a full review on that later. Ooh, back to spicy roses. This is a bottle of Amouage Epic. Oh, this one is just everything. This is a little bit of an older bottle. They don't make the 50 ml bottles anymore, but this smells. Now, true spices. There's like caraway and cumin in here, and there's pink pepper, and there's like tea notes, and there's just roses, and then there's a whole array of like dark woody, oak mossy, sandalwood woody notes on here. But again, I would say that maybe the Desert Eden is a simpler version of this perfume, but this is like, do you want spicy? Do you want smoky? Do you want aromatic? Do you want sandalwood and oak moss and, almost like tobacco and leather? And like, this is just one of those old, complicated Amouage perfumes that they used to make. Admittedly, Amouage puts out so much now, and they're so expensive that I've kind of stopped paying attention to them. So I just have and treasure the ones I managed to get over the years. But this is a good one. I need to wear this more. I feel like this perfume is so opulent though that it wears me. Do you guys have those perfumes where it's like, it's pleasantly overwhelming, but it's just a little much? Not in a bad way. Not even a millisecond of this smells wrong or like, oh, I don't like that. But I don't know. This is just absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous, spicy incense rose. That is Amouage Epic. I'm so glad it's cold out and I can wear all these. It's just wonderful. I like wearing my light perfumes too, but I was over it. I don't know about you guys. Okay, we're on number 10. I deliberately just did 10 today because I didn't want to be talking forever. I admit this is a perfume of neglect, and I have not worn this perfume for a long time. I got it and I wore it a few times and I just shoved it aside because I'm one of those people. I have too many perfumes. But this is Rouge Avignon from the perfume company Phaedon. And again, another spicy rose, but this also has a few gourmand notes of raspberry and chocolate on a beautiful incensey dry down. This one though is definitely on the easier side to wear. I don't want to say it's sweet, but the raspberry, it's there, but it smells like a fresh raspberry. And the chocolate, it's there, but it's like a dark chocolate truffle type of perfume, not sweet and gourmand, not cupcakey, not like jammy raspberry, anything like that, but really a beautiful dessert rose. So rose that is present equally with like chocolate and raspberry. What a beautiful combination. And this perfume melds really together, melds really well together on your skin. And then all those notes dry down into like this incensey amber, perfect for fall, just really pleasant to wear. I don't think anyone would be offended by this. And I was super neglecting this. I've had this on my shelf for years and oh my gosh, I haven't worn it in a very long time. So I deliberately got this out to reacquaint myself with it. And that is Rouge Avignon from the perfume company Phaedon. Okay, these are just 10 that I want to concentrate on wearing or that I have been wearing a lot, because when you have a ton of perfumes, it's really, really helpful to just take a step back and look and see what you already have and what you need to reacquaint yourself with, or what you haven't been wearing and just need some attention. My ask of you guys is tell me what you've been wearing and what you've been up to, but also if you like the incense, rose, woody, sandalwood motif, tell me what your favorite perfume of that style is, because I just absolutely love it. That is like one of my favorite perfume styles of all time, and I just can't get enough. So tell me what you think. If you have stuck with me for 17 minutes of my rambling on and my gushing about my perfumes that I love, I appreciate you. I appreciate all you being here. I appreciate all the notes that you guys send me, because I like talking with all of you, because I feel like you guys are my friends. And I hope you guys are having a beautiful autumn, because it's finally here. So happy autumn to all. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.